spaceship is the size of the Olympic swimming pool in Stratford, and it will have 8 sphere anti-gravity engines and also the propulsion drives to get, or the propulsion pull system to get you to the next star system. So that will be all in the 8 engine blocks, but 4 engine blocks are the ones necessary to get the ship flying and moving about, and then the additional 4 will be like support engines, but they'll all be working together, so they won't be working on full power. So in emergencies you can put them to full power to see whether something can be done, or something can be, or if it's I don't know what kind of emergency, but in a hazard situation. For the engine blocks, the spheres will be quite large, but you could put like around them like a restaurant, or you put a shopping like where you go and pick things like to wear, like a clothes shop, not a shop, but a clothes where you just go and pick what you want to wear and different things like that. So it's all around the engine block, so you can tell someone, oh, we are going to shop at engine block this or shop at engine block that, so they'll know where you're going, because they can see the engine block, like the sphere block. And also the idea of the sphere block is, instead of keeping it hidden, it's not open, but it's covered, but it still has a sphere shape, so it's part of the design. Also, for the windows of the spaceship, it's much larger. The windows will have to be diamond glass, but they'll also have to be re-entry and gravity shield proof, but there'll be large windows, so you're not thinking, oh, it has to be a spaceship which has to have small windows, because you need to protect against all those things. So we need to think and or come up with a technology that can do all those things, so you have large windows which are meters tall and meters wide, and when you're looking at a planet, you can see the planet without being an obstructed view or anything, so it's like an amazing scene. I'll also have to think of the escape pods, but that's a general idea so far. I'm thinking of types of ships. So there's type 1, which can go to the nearest star system and back, and in a good amount of time, maybe in less than a month. And then the type 2 spaceship is one for exploring, so the outer shell is built with like a type of sonic or wave disruptor, which, if the ship is buried by rocks, it can break apart the rocks on top of it and force the rocks out, so it can dig itself out of troubled situations. It's a ship designed to go to extreme environments, so it can go to Mercury, as close to the sun as possible, so it's more it's more high tech, but it's got a lot more technology, and it will need a lot more working out to do, and to think of the design and the different technologies to keep the people inside it safe. But it's meant for exploring, so going to really extreme environments, but it's also allowing the people going there to sort of enjoy or see that that extreme environment, rather than just be shielded, just going there to say, oh, I was there. It's going there so they can actually see where they are and see the sights. So I'll think of the designs for that. It's also designed to go, it can go near the sun, like not into the sun, but near the sun. So it's meant to be foolproof from the blasts of the like the reaction of the sun, which can be like almost nuclear type reaction. So it has to be foolproof from that. So it's a ship designed to almost go anywhere, and even places where it thinks that, oh, this could be a little bit tight to get through, like if it's a crevasse, or it can try it and then find its way out. So there's a possibility. So it's an exploration ship and designed to be that. It will be more advanced. The escape pods for the ship will be very advanced, and they'll be able to move very fast in a short amount of time, and also be gravity protected, so the people inside cannot feel the effects of the gravity. And it's I watched a film, and it had like the people had to escape from a situation where there was rocks going from all directions. So the AI of the escape pod will be able to almost map what's going to hit it, and also be enough to be proof against being hit, or be able to weave itself out of the obstacles, or like able to hit or push aside the small obstacles to find a path out. So I'll try and think of, so the propulsion will be able to sort of move more detailed probably than the spaceship. So you can imagine if it's like a marble, and you throw it, and like it just moves like to the side and side and side. So I'll think of a way to explain. It's very extreme, like the situation the escape pod is designed to get away from, and the ship can probably do it much better, but it's just pushing the design envelope of our pod design. So you don't think that, oh, we're going to live in a escape pod, and I'd rather stay in the ship. It's much safer. You can just say, okay, that's an escape pod. So the escape pod is there, but it will be rarely needed. The people might rarely need to use it, so might only use it if they need to get back home in an emergency. So that could be most likely the use of the escape pod, rather than the ship is trapped and they need to escape using the ship. They need to escape using the pod. actually the trip to the next star system might be less than a month, might be maybe a few days or even a day, because if you can imagine you're trying to travel to the next star system and you have a whole galaxy, if it takes you a month to get there, it must take you longer to get to another star system. So it's thinking of traveling less in terms of how long it takes you to get there. It's more thinking in terms of what do you want to see or photograph on your way there. So that's how to so when designing the starship and the spaceship and the propulsion, is to start thinking in that context rather than it will take you this long to reach there. It's more thinking of what you could do on the way there and what you could see. So flying past nebulas or things like that. So you'd rather it's a better thought pattern. It's more realistic. For the spaceship, I'm thinking of different cabin like designs. So this one I call the command cabin design, where the window is like 3 meters tall, so you can see out. So you're stepping in and thinking, I got the best view in the world. And this one where it's a cabin design is called subtle. So the window is not the room is not as large. The room's like maybe even 2 meters tall. So it feels like but it's very long, and it's got also windows, but it's trying to think of the psychology. Not everyone likes like large rooms, and some people like small rooms, but you can see the view outside. And so I'll think of different cabin style designs that can be going to the spaceship, and it doesn't go to people in particular, it goes to anyone. So you just choose the type of room you feel, and you can change the type of room you chose, or the cabin you chose, if there's room in the spaceship. For the subtle room, you could have features like plant spray, moisture enhancer. So when the plant gets watered by an automatic system, you can smell the moisture in the air for a short time. So it has features like that enhance the feeling of being in a subtle area. It's not like trying to keep it high tech, and it's kind of getting the feel feel like you can reach things easily. It's and then the grand room is more like you got the big window. So to enhance this, you got crawl chairs. So it crawls along the window to maybe a couch or a sitting area. So the grand room might be more for families, because they'll it could be either could be for families, but the grand room would be better for families because of running the kids running around. And also the television is on the window, so you can see the view in the backdrop and maybe decide that at a time you prefer to see the view, and you can just be watching the view instead of watching television, or the television can be moved to the sides if the kids want to watch it. And for the subtle room also, in the shower area I put like a although the shower area you walk upstairs, it's just a design, it can change, but I put like a glass floor and you can see plants in on in the other room in the glass floor. So when you switch on the shower, you can switch on the shower to moisture the plants, so it can be a different, it's a design, but it's just a interesting different kind of design. um I'm trying to think of features for the grand room to try and match the subtle room, because I've the way anyway for the grand room you could have, instead of trying to you could have like a walk cart. It's not like a go-kart. It doesn't have wheels, it has legs, so it walks. So the parent can be on their own walk cart telling the kids stories, and the kids could be on their own walk cart following the parents. So the parents could be telling the kids the stories of planets, or the planets they are going to visit, and they'll have models of those planets like in the room in different positions, so the kids will be looking forward to hearing about the planet. So uh, I'll think of other design features that could be included into both rooms to enhance them, so to make them instead of thinking, oh, I prefer the subtle room because it's got this staircase and it's got this bookshelf, it's also building features into the grand room that start having bits of those, but trying to keep the psych like psychological aspect of it being grand, or it being grand and subtle. For the spaceship also included will be like an activity center. So the activity center will have like a book center, a craft building center, a learning place. Like it's not a separate centers, they are all in the same place but with their different partitions, and sometimes they move around depending, or just to keep people interested and searching for them, but or maybe they stay still. But in the activity center, it's like it's smaller than a shopping center, but it's like a small area where, depending on what you're doing, you can just go to that unit, and it can be all on the same level, rather than that, like a, not like a shopping center, more like a I'll think of a design, but it's just so you have something interesting to do, and then you can go, actually I'd like to try reading, or I'd like to try writing, so you could go and do that, or you could try filming instead, you could try um, um, making like clay and poetry, um, Like you could try painting, different activities. So it's something always to keep you interested and busy, and something new you could learn. So you just go to the activity center if you maybe been writing or doing work in your cabin, you decide actually I just take a break and go to the activity center and find something new to do. So I'll make this more in the central part of the ship, and then I'll think of other features to put in. There's also activity center, which is separate from this center. It's more for exercise, and so I'll think of things like that, and also think of the swimming pool design so that it's not a large swimming pool. It might be long, a few meters, but also the water sort of, I'll think of the design. Um, you could I could think of anti-gravity games. So that would be you could there could be good ideas for anti-gravity games. So like games in zero gravity. So that could also be interesting. When passing a planet, instead of the ship, maybe the ship might, I don't know, the because there'll be no birds or anything, the ship can fly into the planet and then out again, reduce its speed. But the theory was to collect solar dips. Solar dips are like the ship goes into the atmosphere of the planet, and a prototype of our ornament is made from the air and atoms on the planet. So this way people can make mementos to give other people and say this is from that planet or this is from that planet. So it's the idea of solar dips, but maybe the ship doesn't go through all the planets. Maybe it's to the next star system, it goes through most of the planets, because there's no planets until the next star system. So it goes through most of the planets and does the solar dip ornament, depending on who wanted an ornament from that planet. But then when it gets very busy, then this is unlikely to keep going on depending on the path, because you don't want to collide with any other spaceships. For the grand room, you could also have like the parents could have giant inflatables, like their characters. So when the kids are in their own partitioned room, like their library, and they can look down, instead of seeing the parents walk around, they could be seen on a screen, giant walking in the in the in the grand room. So it would be like more interesting. This is what the parents are doing, or that parents are doing. And then sometimes they could come out, and a smaller like a maybe a 2 meter inflatable could be of the parent, and the parent could be inside them, so the kids could like hang on or sit on the leg, and the parent could be walking child around the grand room, like playing a play. So it could be different. It's trying to think of what to do with the grand room. So because kids in large spaces, it might be not the best idea. So it's a partition and a way also not for it to be a separate room like those. That's more for the parents' room. It's a way to make it for both of them.